There is a rhythm to this universe that no clock can capture, no calendar can predict. It is the rhythm of the divine. It moves not according to your impatience, not by your logic, and not by your ego's demands, but by something infinitely wiser, infinitely vaster. Divine timing is not late, not early, and never wrong. It arrives like the tide, not to meet your schedule, but to meet your soul's evolution. When you begin to understand this, not as a concept, but as a living truth etched into the silence of your being, something inside you relaxes. You stop measuring your life by the ticking of time and start measuring it by the expansion of your awareness. You no longer say, why hasn't it happened yet? But rather, what am I being prepared for? There is no coincidence. There is no accident. Every delay, every detour, every door that would not open was not a rejection, it was a redirection. Life, in its infinite intelligence, has never denied you anything. It has only ever rerouted you to something more aligned with who you are becoming. But the ego does not see alignment. It only sees delay. It only sees absence. It only sees lack. That is because the ego lives in time. The soul lives in truth. And truth is never rushed. The acorn does not argue with the oak it's destined to become. It doesn't complain about how long it takes. It doesn't wish to be another tree. It simply surrenders to the season it is in. It trusts the dark soil and the silent work happening beneath the surface. So must you. You are not being delayed. You are being deepened. We suffer not because life withholds, but because we cling. We cling to timelines, to expectations, to ideas of how and when things must unfold. But divine timing does not ask for your timeline. It asks for your trust. And trust is not passive, it is the most powerful act of surrender. Trust is choosing to believe that even when nothing makes sense, everything is working. That even in silence, there is movement. That even in stillness, something sacred is being orchestrated beyond your view. What appears stagnant is often the space where transformation takes root. The butterfly is not born because the caterpillar pushes harder. It is born because the time is right. And the time is always right, but only to the one who has stopped resisting what is. You were not born to race the clock. You were born to awaken. And awakening does not happen according to schedule. It happens in divine time when the conditions are ready within you, when your spirit is ripe for remembering, when you're finally tired of forcing and start listening instead, listening not to the noise of the world, but to the whisper within you that says, be still, trust this. There is a part of you, ancient, infinite, eternal, that already knows this truth. It is the part of you that has never been in a hurry. It is the part of you that does not panic in the pause. It is the part of you that recognizes that nothing real can be lost and nothing meant for you will pass you by. Let that part of you speak louder now, because everything that you've been waiting for, everything your heart aches to see, is not outside of you. It's unfolding in the unseen. Life is not denying you, it is preparing you. Every unanswered prayer is not a punishment, it is a protection, a recalibration, a sacred pause to make space for something greater. Divine timing does not work to make you comfortable. It works to make you conscious. You see, when you are truly ready, not mentally, not emotionally, but spiritually, you will find that what you once chased begins to arrive without effort. The partner, the peace, the purpose, they do not show up because you demanded them. They show up because you became a vibrational match. Divine timing does not bring you what you want. It brings you what you are ready to hold. And to be ready is to be whole. To be whole is to no longer seek from lack, but to offer from fullness. You stop praying for something to complete you, and start radiating the energy that attracts all things naturally. You stop chasing what you think is missing, and you realize nothing is missing. You are already in sacred company, already on holy ground, already part of a divine unfolding that your mind may not understand, but your soul has always trusted. It takes courage to live this way, to let go of your plans, to surrender your agenda, to breathe through the discomfort of not knowing. But this courage is the doorway to miracles. Because miracles do not happen on your timeline, they happen on God's. And God's timing is never rushed by your worry. It is not disrupted by your fear. It is not swayed by your doubt. Divine timing flows from a place that is beyond manipulation, beyond control, beyond your will. It is born from alignment. And alignment comes not from pushing, but from allowing. So let yourself allow the unanswered to be sacred. Allow the delays to be divine. Allow the waiting to be holy. Do not despise the space between the seed and the bloom. Do not curse the rain, the dark, or the dormant. Every season has its place in your becoming. You are not being punished by time. You are being initiated by it. Initiated into patience, into presence, into peace, into the kind of inner freedom that does not depend on outer events, into the kind of knowing that no longer rushes toward the future because it has finally remembered the presence of now. Now is always sacred. Now is always enough. Now is always on time. Even your pain has its purpose. Even your confusion is a corridor. Even your heartbreak is a holy teacher. Not one tear is wasted. Not one setback is random. Every piece of your story is being woven into something radiant, something only divine timing could orchestrate. But here's what you must understand. The soul does not measure progress by speed. It measures it by surrender. It does not ask how far you've come. It asks how deeply you've trusted. And trust is the pathway to all things unseen. Divine timing is the language of the soul. And your soul is fluent in its silence. So slow down, breathe, let go of your deadlines. Release the white-knuckled grip you have around the future. You are not behind. You are not off track. You are not too late. You are exactly where you are meant to be, not by accident, but by grace. You are not waiting for life to begin. Life is waiting for you to open, to soften, to receive what has always been yours, but only at the appointed time. And that time will not be announced. It will arrive like a breeze, quiet, unexpected, transformational. And you will know, not because of a sign in the sky, but because your soul will sigh. Now is the moment. Now is the miracle. Now is always divine. You are not late for your life. That idea only exists in a world ruled by comparison. But your soul does not compare. It unfolds. Like the petals of a lotus, it opens in its own rhythm, untouched by the clock, unmoved by the pressure. The soul does not bloom because others have. It blooms because the moment is right, because the inner soil has been tilled by tears, softened by surrender, and nourished by grace. You are not behind, you are becoming. When you accept this, truly accept it, the anxiety begins to dissolve. You stop racing the phantom of someone else's path. You stop chasing a version of success that was never written for your spirit. And you start living from presence instead of pressure. You no longer look at someone else's breakthrough and feel small. You look and you remember their time is not your time. Their purpose is not your purpose. The divine does not duplicate destinies. It only fulfills them in unique and perfect ways. Let that truth free you. There is no peace in the timeline your ego demands. There is only tension. There is only striving. There is only a constant hunger. to arrive somewhere other than here. But you cannot arrive at peace by abandoning presence. You cannot reach joy by resenting the now. You cannot taste the fruit before the roots are formed. Divine timing is the great teacher of this truth. Every delay has been a blessing in disguise. You may not see it in the moment, but one day you will look back and say, thank God that didn't happen when I wanted it to. Because you weren't ready then, not because you were flawed, but because life was still preparing the soil, still shaping the circumstances, still healing the fractures you hadn't even seen, still aligning the pieces in a way that only Spirit could orchestrate. Readiness is not determined by desire. Readiness is a vibration. It is the energy of wholeness. When you vibrate in alignment with what you seek, you don't have to chase it, it meets you. That is the magic of divine timing. It doesn't answer your prayers in panic, it answers them in peace. And it waits until you're home within yourself before it delivers what you've asked for. You are not forgotten, you are not unseen. The delay is not a denial, it is a doorway. A doorway into deeper faith, a doorway into greater trust, a doorway into the kind of inner clarity that cannot be shaken by the winds of time. You are not being punished by waiting, you are being prepared by it. The wait is the work. The pause is the place where the sacred rearranges you so that when the right moment comes, you don't sabotage it with your fear. You were never meant to force anything. You were meant to flow with everything. Look at nature. The rivers do not rush to their destination. They meander, they carve, they flow. Not by urgency, but by surrender. And still, they arrive. The seasons do not compete. Winter does not rush to be spring. Each one honors its time, and so must you. There is beauty in honoring your season, even if it looks like stillness to the world. It may be the most active time for your soul. The greatest transformations happen in the dark. The seed does not sprout in the light. It breaks open beneath the surface, in silence, in obscurity. And you too may feel buried right now. But you are not buried, you are planted. You are in the sacred stage of becoming. And when the timing is right, nothing and no one will stop the bloom. So be gentle with yourself. Speak to yourself the way Spirit would speak. With love, with patience, with reassurance. Tell yourself, I may not see it yet, but I trust that everything is unfolding perfectly. Let this trust become your practice. Let it become your prayer. Let it become the lens through which you see every delay, every closed door, every unanswered question. Because sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is wait without worry. Breathe without rushing. Be without proving. Let life come to you in its own way, in its own time, with its own kind of perfection. There is nothing wrong with you because it hasn't happened yet. There is only ripening, there is only alignment, there is only divine orchestration happening in the unseen, shaping what your eyes cannot yet perceive. And it is not your job to control the how or the when. Your job is only to remain open, willing, and rooted in trust. The divine does not forget its appointments. It never misses its cue. It is not late, it is precise. And when your moment comes, when the door opens, when the alignment strikes like lightning across the sky of your being, you will know it was worth every unanswered question, every tear, every moment of doubt. Because the gift that arrives in divine timing is never just what you wanted, it's what your soul needed all along. That's the difference. What the ego wants often comes with a price, but what Spirit delivers comes with peace. You do not have to sacrifice your soul for what is meant for you. You only have to align with the truth of who you are and allow life to meet you there. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. The universe is never still. Even when the surface seems quiet, the depths are in motion. So too are you. Even now, something within you is shifting. Even now, you are becoming a more fertile ground for the miracles you once begged for. You are the prayer, You are the timing. You are the place where God shows up, not in fireworks, but in presence. Not in drama, but in alignment. Trust this. Trust the closed doors, for they are divine detours. Trust the quiet, for it is the soil of revelation. Trust the unanswered prayers, for they are the guardians of greater blessings. Trust the seasons of isolation, for they are the spaces where spirit reshapes you without distraction. Most of all, trust that you are not waiting for life. Life is waiting for you to stop running, to stop grasping, to stop forcing, and simply become still enough to be found by the grace that is already on its way. Let yourself be found. Let yourself be held. Let yourself believe that divine timing is not a punishment, but a promise. A promise that what is truly for you cannot be lost, missed, or delayed. It can only arrive exactly when you are ready to receive it fully. And when it does, it will feel like coming home. Not to a place, but to yourself. The greatest illusion the ego maintains is the belief that we are in charge of time, that we are the masters of beginnings and endings, that we can orchestrate the symphony of life according to our own design. But the soul knows better. The soul knows it is not the conductor, it is the instrument. And when we surrender to divine timing, we allow ourselves to be played by the hands of the infinite. What emerges from that surrender is not weakness, it is music. A harmony that could never have been composed by the mind. A melody that rises only when the heart is still and open. You begin to notice that what you thought was a setback was a setup. That what you perceived as loss was actually rearrangement. That what you judged as stagnation was spiritual gestation. You were not forgotten in the silence, you were being softened. Softened so that you could receive, not just externally, but internally. Because nothing that arrives externally will fulfill you until you are inwardly prepared to hold it with reverence. Divine timing ensures that what is meant for you will not only enter your life, it will remain in your life, because you will have become someone who can sustain it. That is why you must trust the wait. There is a divine architecture to your life that cannot be mapped by intellect. It can only be revealed through surrender. You do not see the blueprint, but the builder does. And the builder is never careless. Every beam of timing, every brick of delay, every window of uncertainty is placed with sacred precision. When you stand in the house of your destiny, you will see that even the crooked walls were necessary to bring you home to yourself. But you must be willing to release the illusion of control. Control is the armor of the fearful. It says, if I just try harder, push faster, manipulate better, I can make life bend to my will. But life does not bend to will. It flows through trust. Control may give the illusion of progress, but trust brings the reality of peace. And peace is the foundation upon which all divine things are built. You were never meant to strive your way into blessings. You were meant to align your way into them. Alignment is the holy yes to life as it is. It does not mean you give up desire. It means your desire no longer comes from lack. It comes from love. It means you no longer say, I must have this to be whole, but instead, I welcome this from my wholeness. And when you live from wholeness, timing becomes your ally, not your enemy. The ego says, you should be there by now. The soul says, you are right on time. Every soul blooms in divine sequence. The oak tree does not bloom in spring like the cherry blossom. And the cherry blossom does not judge the cactus for blooming under the desert sun. Every soul has its season. Every path has its pace. And when you honor your own, you free yourself from the suffering of comparison. Comparison is the thief of peace. It convinces you that your worth is measured by how fast you manifest. But true manifestation is not about speed. It's about alignment, resonance, readiness. It's about becoming a vessel that can carry the magnitude of what you've asked for. The universe is not withholding from you. It is waiting for your energy to rise to the level of your request. This is the great invitation of divine timing: to rise, not to race. To rise into patience, into purpose, into presence. To let your growth be the magnet that draws what is meant for you. You do not find your blessings by chasing them. You attract them by becoming who you were born to be. And who you were born to be does not panic in the waiting. Who you were born to be remembers that delays are sacred, that detours are instructional, that even endings are beginnings wearing a different costume. You stop resisting what is and begin listening to what is rising. Because when divine timing moves, it doesn't announce itself. It arrives like dawn, quiet, golden, unmistakable. And those who have learned to trust the dark can receive the light without fear. They no longer cling to the old. They no longer force the new. They allow, they accept, they flow. They trust that every season of their life is a classroom for the soul. You are not late, you are learning. You are not forgotten, you are forming. You are not abandoned, you are being aligned. And when you are aligned, nothing is lost. Everything that is meant for you will find you, not in the chaos of effort, but in the stillness of faith. Faith is not blind belief. Faith is deep remembrance, a return to the knowing that you are already held by something infinitely wise, something that sees 10,000 steps ahead, something that knows exactly when to close a door and exactly when to swing it wide open. Let that knowing soothe you. Let it quiet the voice that says, it should have happened by now. Let it dissolve the anxiety that clings to clocks and deadlines. Let it remind you that you are not on the world's time, you are on soul time. And soul time does not run on urgency, it runs on expansion. The more you expand, the less you force. The more you trust, the more you receive. The more you surrender, the more life reveals its mysterious grace. You begin to walk not ahead of yourself, not behind yourself, but with yourself. And in that sacred companionship with your own soul, you arrive at the only place you were ever meant to be, here. Now, this moment, this breath, this is where divine timing begins, not in some future manifestation, but in your willingness to be fully present with what is. This moment is not in the way, it is the way. It is the seedbed of everything that is coming. It is the holy ground on which your future takes root. Honor it, bless it, trust it. So here you are, not waiting anymore, but awakening, not chasing anymore, but becoming, not counting the hours, but consecrating the moment. And in this holy surrender, something shifts, something softens, something returns. You remember what the ego worked so hard to forget, that you were never separate from the timing of the divine. You were never off course. You were never out of sync. You were always being guided, always being led, always being shaped, not by delay, but by design. Every ache in your chest was a crack through which the light entered. Every prayer that seemed unanswered was an echo, reverberating through a larger orchestration. You could not see it, but the hands of grace were always moving, always aligning, always waiting for you to let go, not because you were being punished, but because your fists were clenched too tightly to receive the miracle. And now you know, the waiting was never empty. It was sacred. It was the chrysalis that transformed you slowly and invisibly into someone who could carry more light. Someone who could love without condition. Someone who no longer begged the universe for answers, but bowed to its wisdom. You are not who you were. The self who demanded the world move faster has dissolved. The self who needed everything to make sense has softened. What remains is truer, quieter, more spacious. You are now a vessel that can receive without needing to control, that can trust without needing to understand. And this trust is the gateway to freedom. Because freedom is not found in having everything you want exactly when you want it. It is found in realizing you are whole, even when nothing has arrived yet. It is found in breathing peacefully through the unknown. It is found in the sacred recognition that everything unfolds not by your command, but by divine alignment, and divine alignment has never failed you. It has placed you in the presence of teachers cloaked as hardship. It has rearranged your plans when they no longer matched your evolution. It has cracked open your heart so that it could stretch wide enough to hold the immensity of love you once feared. And it has brought you here not by mistake, but by miracle. So let the old story fall away now, the one that said you were too late, too behind, too broken, too lost. Let that voice go. It was never your soul speaking. It was your conditioning, echoing in the hallways of your past. But you are not your past. You are not the missed opportunities, the abandoned dreams, the closed doors, the should-haves, or the timelines that unraveled. You are this moment. You are the breath that expands without effort. You are the awareness that watches without judgment. You are the presence that listens without trying to fix. You are the light that remained, even in the longest night. You are the calm after the storm, the clarity after the chaos, the stillness after the striving. You are what was always meant to be. And what is meant for you, truly meant for you, cannot be rushed. It cannot be missed. It cannot be destroyed. It can only arrive when you are fully ready to receive it. Not with trembling hands, but with an open heart. Not with desperation, but with devotion. So take this breath, take this moment, and know, nothing is wasted. No part of your journey has been a detour. Every step has led you here. Every loss carved space for grace. Every silence deepened your listening. Every delay was a message from the divine saying, not yet, because something greater is forming. And now, you're no longer fighting that truth. You're welcoming it. You're no longer demanding your life bend to your timing. You're flowing with the mystery of it all. You're no longer trying to outrun the pain. You're walking through it with open eyes and a steady heart, knowing that even this is part of the rhythm. You're not who you were. You're not who you thought you had to be. You are who you always were, beneath the fear. A soul in perfect harmony with a universe that never makes a mistake. And now you walk differently. Not faster, not more forcefully, but with reverence, with grace, with a quiet knowing that whatever is coming is already yours, that you don't have to run toward it, you just have to rise into it. You just have to meet it by being the truest expression of yourself. And that is freedom. Freedom from urgency, freedom from self-judgment, freedom from timelines built on fear. This is the liberation of the soul that knows, I don't have to rush, I don't have to beg, I don't have to grasp, I just have to trust, open, allow, and life will meet me there. And when it does, it will not be because you forced it, it will be because you became it. The miracle will not come to rescue you, it will come to reflect you. It will not arrive to prove your worth. It will arrive because you finally remembered you were worthy all along. This is the divine unfolding. This is the sacred rhythm. This is your soul, awake and alive, moving with the timing of eternity. So now, breathe. Not because you're waiting for something, but because you are something. You are not waiting for the right time. You are the right time. You are the light that dawns in perfect silence. And divine timing is always right.
What I am about to share with you is the very key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. Let us begin by understanding what true visualization really is. Many of you may think of visualization as simply picturing something in your mind, but I tell you now, effective visualization goes far beyond mere mental imagery. It is a complete sensory and emotional experience that engages your entire being. When you visualize in the way I am about to describe, you are not merely creating pictures in your mind. You are entering into an experience so real, so vivid, that to your subconscious mind, it is happening here and now. And it is this conviction, this feeling of reality, that causes the outer world to shift and reshape itself to match your inner experience. The first key to this powerful form of visualization is to engage all your senses. As you create your desired scene in your mind, see it with crystal clarity. Notice the colors, the shapes, the details. But don't stop there. What sounds are present in this scene? Perhaps it's the sound of applause as you achieve your goal, or the gentle laughing of waves on a beach as you enjoy your dream vacation. Hear these sounds as if they were actually reaching your ears. Now feel the textures and sensations associated with your vision. If you're imagining career success, feel the weight of the pen as you sign an important contract. If it's a new home you desire, feel the smooth coolness of the doorknob as you open the front door. Engage your sense of smell. What aromas are present in your scene? The fresh scent of newly mown grass in your backyard, the rich aroma of success in your new office. And if applicable, bring in the sense of taste. If your vision includes a celebration, taste the champagne. If it's a healthy body you desire, taste the crisp, clean flavor of pure water hydrating your system. As you engage all these senses, you are creating a multidimensional experience in your mind. This richness of detail convinces your subconscious mind of the reality of your vision. Remember, your subconscious does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. By creating this complete sensory experience, you are impressing upon your subconscious mind the reality of your via. But there is one more crucial element that truly brings your visualization to life and causes reality to shift instantly. That element, my dear friends, is feeling. The feeling of your wish fulfilled is the secret that breathes life into your vision and propels it into physical manifestation. As you visualize, you must feel the emotions you would feel if your desire were already realized. If it's financial abundance you seek, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with wealth. If it's a loving relationship, feel the love, the connection, the deep sense of belonging. Whatever your desire, the feeling must be so real, so intense, that when you open your eyes, you carry with you the emotional satisfaction of your wish fulfilled. This feeling is not something you can fake or force. It must arise naturally from your complete immersion in your visualized scene. This is why the sensory detail is so important. As you see here, feel, smell, and taste your desire. Realize the appropriate emotions will naturally arise. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Wayne, how can I feel something that isn't yet true in my physical reality? And to this I say, your imagination is the bridge between your current reality and your desired state. It is through your imagination that you can step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even before it manifests in the physical world. Your imagination is not a flight of fancy or a frivolous faculty. It is the very workshop wherein you fashion your future. When you imagine, you are experiencing reality at its most fundamental level. You are engaging with the pure potential of consciousness. Shake it with your attention and your assumption. To use your imagination in this powerful way, you must first quiet your conscious mind. The chattering of your daily thoughts, your worries, your doubts, these must be silenced. Enter a state of relaxation, a state akin to sleep, but in which you remain consciously aware. In this state, your subconscious mind becomes more receptive to impression. Once in this relaxed state, construct your scene. This scene should be one that implies the fulfillment of your desire. If your desire is for a successful career, you might imagine yourself in your ideal office or receiving congratulations from colleagues. If it's health you seek, imagine yourself engaging in activities that only a healthy person could do. The scene itself should be short and simple. It's not about creating an elaborate story, but about capturing a moment that implies your desire is now a fact. This scene is your platform, the stage upon which you will enact the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Now step in this scene. Don't watch it as a spectator, but experience it from the first-person perspective. Be there in that moment, and as you experience it, let the feeling of fulfillment wash over you. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the satisfaction of having your desire realized. This is where many falter. They can see the scene clearly, but they fail to evoke the feeling. Remember, it is the feeling that gives life to your visualization. Without feeling, visualization is merely a mental exercise. With feeling, it becomes an act of creation. As you practice this, you may find that the feeling comes more easily with repetition. Each time you return to your scene, the feeling becomes more vivid, more real. This is good. You are strengthening the impression upon your subconscious mind. But here's a crucial point. Once you have evoked the feeling, once you have impressed it upon your subconscious, you must carry it with you into your waking life. This is where many stumble. They do their visualization exercise. They feel it intensely in the moment, but then they return to their daily life and fall back into old patterns of thought and feeling. To cause reality to shift instantly, you must maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of contradictory evidence. This is where faith comes in. Not blind faith, but faith born of understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. When you truly grasp this, you will no longer be swayed by appearances. You will know that what you see around you is the effect, not the cause. The cause lies in your consciousness, in your feeling. And as you persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your outer world must reshape itself to match this inner conviction. Now let us address a common challenge in this practice, the apparent contradictions of your senses. As you begin to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you may find that your current circumstances seem to contradict your assumption. Bills may still need to be paid. Problems may still arise. How do you maintain your feeling in the face of these seeming contradictions? This is where the art of ignoring comes into play. To ignore is not to deny the existence of something, but to refrain from giving it your attention and energy. When contradictory evidence appears, acknowledge it briefly, then immediately return your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember, what you see in your outer world is the result of past assumptions, past feelings. It is like an echo of what you once believed. Your task now is to give more attention, more importance, more reality to your new assumption than to these outdated circumstances. This practice requires mental discipline. It requires you to stand firm in your new assumption, even when your senses argue against it. But remember, your senses only show you what has been, not what can be. Your imagination, informed by your feeling, shows you what will be. As you persist in maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of contradictory evidence, you will begin to see changes in your outer world. These changes may start small, a fortunate coincidence, an unexpected opportunity, a shift in someone's behavior towards you. Do not dismiss these as mere chance. They are the first fruits of your new assumption taking root. Now, let us delve deeper into the nature of feeling. When I speak of feeling, I am not referring merely to emotions, though emotions play a part. I am speaking of a deeper sense, a knowing and unshakable conviction. It is the difference between, say, I want to be wealthy. It is the difference between, say, I want to be wealthy and knowing. In the very core of your being, I am wealthy. This feeling conviction is not something you can fake or force. It arises naturally when you have successfully impressed your desire upon your subconscious mind. This is why the repeated use of your imagination is so crucial. Each time you return to your imaginal scene, each time you step into feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are deepening this impression. Think of it like wearing a groove in a record. The first time you play the record, the needle may skip and jump, but with repeated plays, the groove deepens and the music plays smoothly. Similarly, as you repeat your imaginal act, the feeling becomes more natural, more habitual. It becomes your dominant state. This is the state. This is the state from which creation occurs. When you can maintain this feeling conviction throughout your day, when it becomes as natural as breathing, you have mastered the art of conscious creation. Your outer world has no choice but to conform to this inner state. But what of those moments when doubt creeps in, when fear arises, when the old patterns of thought and feeling try to reassert themselves? These moments are inevitable, especially in the beginning of your practice. Do not be discouraged by them. Instead, see them as opportunities to strengthen your new assumption. When doubt arises, do not fight it. Fighting against the thought only gives it more power. Instead, gently but firmly return to your feeling of wish fulfilled. Remind yourself that what you see around you is the past. Your new assumption, your new feeling is creating your future. This brings us to another crucial aspect of visualization that causes reality to shift instantly, the concept of living in the end. Living in the end means assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled in your day-to-day life. It's not enough to visualize for a few minutes each day and then return to your old patterns of thought and feeling. You must carry the feeling of your wish fulfilled with you throughout your day. This doesn't mean you deny your current circumstances. Rather, you acknowledge them briefly, then immediately return to the feeling of your desire fulfilled. You live from the assumption that what you desire is already yours. For example, if your desire is for financial abundance, you would feel the security, freedom, and joy of wealth as you go about your day. When you make purchases, You would feel the ease and confidence of someone who has more than enough. When you interact with others, you would carry yourself with the assurance of a wealthy person. Living in the end requires a shift in your entire way of being. It's not about pretending or pre-acting. It's about genuinely assuming a new state of consciousness. When you do this effectively, you'll find that your actions naturally align with your assumed state. This practice of living in the end can be challenging at first. Your current circumstances may seem to contradict your assumed state. This is where persistence and faith come in. You must persist in your new assumption, even when your senses deny it. Remember, your senses only show you the effects of past assumptions. As you persist in your new assumption, as you consistently live from the end, your outer world must gradually reshape itself to match your inner picture. Now, let us address the role of action in this process of instant reality shifting. Some people mistakenly believe that visualization means they can simply imagine their desires and then sit back and wait for them to magically appear. This is not the case. Effective visualization does not negate action. It informs action. When you successfully impress your desire upon your subconscious mind, when you truly feel you're fulfilled, you will be inspired to take actions that align with this state. These actions will feel natural, even inevitable. They will not be driven by fear or lack, but will flow from your assumed state of fulfillment. This is a crucial distinction. When you take action from a place of lack, trying to get what you desire, you are actually affirming the assumption of not having it. But when you take action from the assumption of already having your desire fulfilled, you open yourself to infinite possibilities for its expression and expansion. So do not neglect action, but ensure that your actions are aligned with and flowing from your assumed state. Let your feeling guide your actions, rather than hoping your actions will create the feeling. Now, let us explore the concept of detachment in relation to visualization and instant reality shifting. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about your desire. Rather, it means you're not anxiously attached to seeing immediate results or figuring out how your desire will manifest. When you're detached, you can visualize and feel your desire fulfilled without constantly looking for signs of its manifestation. You trust in the process, knowing that as you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, it must inevitably express itself in your outer world. Detachment allows you to live in the present moment while holding your assumed state. It frees you from the anxiety and doubt that can undermine your creative work. It allows you to enjoy the journey of manifestation rather than being solely focused on the destination. Practice detachment by reminding yourself that your imaginal act imbued with feeling is the reality. What you see in the outer world is just a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. As you persist in your new assumption, this shadow must change to match the new reality you're imagining and feeling. As we near the conclusion of our exploration, let us reflect on the ultimate purpose of this practice. The power of visualization, the cultivation of feeling, the art of living in the end. These are not merely techniques for acquiring material possessions or achieving worldly success. While they can certainly be used for these purposes, their true power lies in the transformation of consciousness they facilitate. As you master the art of visualization and feeling your wish fulfilled, you are essentially recreating yourself. You are stepping into a new concept of self, a new understanding of your relationship to the world around you. This practice reveals to you your true nature as a creative being. It shows you that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the author of your life story. It demonstrates that the power to shape your reality lies within you, in your capacity to imagine and to feel. Moreover, as you persist in this practice, you may find that your desires themselves begin to change. As you experience the fulfillment of your initial desires, as you grow in your understanding of your creative power, you may find yourself drawn to higher aspirations. You may feel called to use your creative ability, not just for personal gain, but for the betterment of all. This is the true gift of mastering the art of visualization and instant reality shifting, the ability to shape not just your individual life, but to contribute to the shaping of the world around you. For as you change your own consciousness, you inevitably affect the collective consciousness of humanity. In closing, my dear friends, remember this. Once you visualize like this, imbuing your mental images with vivid sensory detail and intense feeling, reality shifts instantly. Your ability to feel the reality of your desire, to live from the state of your wish fulfilled, is the key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. Go forth from here with this knowledge. Apply these principles in your daily life. Be aware of your visualizations and the feelings they evoke, for they are shaping your reality in every moment. Use your imagination consciously and deliberately to create scenes that imply the fulfillment of your days. Visualize with all the power of your senses, but above all, feel the reality of your wish fulfilled. And remember, persistence is key. The world you see around you is the result of habitual visualizations and feelings. As you persist in your new visualization, as you consistently live from the state of your wish fulfilled, your world must reshape itself to match this new inner conviction. You have within you the power to create the life you desire. You are limited only by your ability to visualize and to feel the reality of your wishes fulfilled. Embrace this truth, live from this understanding, and watch as your world transforms around you, reflecting the newfound mastery of your creative consciousness. Thank you. And may your journey of conscious creation through powerful visualization be filled with joy, wonder, and the thrill of manifesting your deepest desires.